Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. This is our off-air podcast that we do 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We normally go live around 10:30 on the Miguel and Holly and the Hits 961 Facebook page and the Miguel and Holly YouTube channel, which if you've never logged on, you should definitely check out the Miguel and Holly YouTube channel. Kelbin, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. There you go. That's the only way for us to hear you. It's not like normal. So Kelbin is at home right now. He's not in the studio because his little pup got his little TT snip.
Yeah. Can you hear me or am I echoing?
Wait, hold on.
I think I can.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, his poor little nuts were chopped off and I feel so bad, but also I don't because they have him up on a lot of drugs and it's been quite a joy to be
He's
quite
fine. Listen,
he's fine.
He's fine. Listen, this is something that so many dogs get done. That's how you think of it. Like, this is something that is so common. They do this procedure so often. He will definitely be okay. He's just, he's laid back right now because he got all them drugs.
You want to show Jimbo real quick? Let's see what he's looking like.
He's being annoying. And he's
Oh wait, hold on.
outside the window. Can you see?
Yep.
He wants a view real quick.
Well, look at little hey Jimbo.
He's like, hey.
He said, hey y'all.
He's like, I want to see the outside. It looks like colors. Because he's on the drugs.
Has he obviously been very laid back and calm?
Yes, it's been amazing. It's amazing.
Oh my goodness. So Kelvin has been doing this show, working on stuff behind the scenes at home. Before we get to all of that, we got a couple of more reviews as we are on our way to 500 reviews for this year.
Nice.
We are at 497.
Whoop, whoop.
This is way ahead of schedule.
Right. This is good because then we can lay off of it, and then in the new year we'll set a new goal. The last 2 reviews that came in. This is from Max Boston. Platypus is the subject line. I look forward to every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday so I can listen to my favorite podcast. Miguel and Holly are so brutally honest, yet so empathetic. This podcast will have you laughing, crying, and rethinking your life choices. Give it a listen. You will be hooked. Thank you for sharing your lives with your listeners. Your chemistry together is undeniable. Oh, and let's not forget Producer Kelbin. He's an absolute gem of a find. I hope others will give this pod a listen. It will not disappoint. Thank you for doing what you do.
That's so nice.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. And then this is from Guy Uterus. I love people's names on Apple. Like,
Yeah. I'm gonna look at my name on Apple real quick because, like, why? Like, Apple's like a serious one. I feel like
well, I feel like also sometimes, depending upon how old you are, like your Apple ID, I created it almost 20 years ago when iTunes first came out. It's been that long. I mean, almost 20 years. When iTunes came out back in like 05, 06, maybe. We were still doing, I love pink bananas 99 at yahoo.com.
Oh.
And so sometimes those names transfer over.
Okay, that makes more sense. Mine's just Radio Holly. So you can follow me on there.
Why they gotta be pink?
And then this one's from Guy Uterus. I listened to y'all in Florida while I was in college. I moved away from the Tampa area and hadn't listened to you guys in a while. I moved to Greenville, South Carolina recently and heard you guys on the radio. I was so pumped. I was excited to catch up and learn more about your journey from Florida to Charlotte. You guys rock. So thank you. And as we get to 500, we'll be giving away $50 to someone.
We don't know how, but that's okay.
Still got to figure that out. Oh, and then Kristen Smith said iTunes came out in 2001. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Did you guys purchase a lot of songs back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have iTunes. I was not an Apple person until the iPhone came out. I put all my money on the Sony Bean.
That worked out.
So that's how that went. It was one of those things where I was like, what's so great? What's so great about iTunes? Like, I can do whatever I want.
Holly has this like defiant streak where when everyone's like, oh, we're on iTunes and we're on Facebook, Holly's like, I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm not doing it. Ugh. I'm like, girl, stop. It's fun. Let's go.
Yeah. But it was easier. It just was easier. I just realized I'm sorry. I got a little bit distracted because as I went to my profile on Apple, like on iTunes and or on Apple Music and everything, I realized that every single thing is like public, like everything. And I'm like, some of that doesn't need to be public. Let me just make some quick adjustments, like just some playlists, like things. I don't need to be. Everybody don't need to know everything. Like I just didn't realize that was all out there. So it's fine.
Holly has her fuck playlist on there. That's why.
Yeah, that's fine. Gotta uncheck some of those.
She said, I got my bleep playlist ready to go.
But it's all like strange songs.
Yeah. You want to know.
I'm about to say, what would be on Holly's F playlist?
Oh, man. I had a hard time coming up with that back in the day. Like, it was difficult because there are some weird songs that I really find enjoyable for those type of things. But then I also don't know, like, I would have a hard time because, like, how do you match up the exact song for the exact mood that you're in at that time? Like, it's just going to go from one to the other. And then what if you're getting, like, crazy, but the song is, like a slow song and you're like, skip. So I don't know. I have a hard time putting those together. That's why we listen to rain sounds now.
Kelbin, do y'all listen to anything?
No, my fiance doesn't like it because he feels like he'll start dancing in the middle of it. And so for me, I like it, but it's got to be like nasty music. Like it's got to be like a Meg Thee Stallion song, or it has to be like Cardi or something like just with dirty lyrics. Obviously, the vibe is different. Sensual music I would prefer, but we don't. We don't. It's you know the sound.
It's nice too. That's what I'm saying. Like we just throw the rain sounds on and we just get it done.
I like it dead quiet. I want to hear everything.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I want to hear everything. I used to like to have music and just now I'm like, I want to hear everything.
That's funny because my fiance it's like, I can't have it quiet. Like,
oh no.
That's why we have to put rain sounds on.
No.
If there's no rain sounds on, he'll stop. He'll be like, no, we got to do something.
Too much macaroni in the pot.
Ooh, macaroni. And
I think because then he thinks too much. He like starts thinking about everything and every remember we talked the other day about Miguel, how you said you get too in your head. If it's quiet, that's what he'll do.
That's fair.
See, I'm the opposite. If there's music on, then I'm thinking about the song, and then my mind starts to wander towards there, and I'm like, oh, hey, we're doing it.
Oh my god, distracted.
I needed to be absolutely quiet.
Oh my goodness.
So Kelbin, you were telling us before we started the podcast that about the process of everything with Jimbo and getting his poor dingleberries berries chopped off.
Yeah, so you drop him off at the Humane Society, and there was thankfully you guys told me to leave early, and I was like, I don't think I need to, but I was like, whatever, I'll just go. Thankfully, I was third in line, but then right after me, line straight out the door, like insane amount of people coming. So everybody drops off their dog. Jimbo was acting up once the person came to my car to give me the paperwork, and he is trying to jump out of the window, going crazy, like just absolutely insane. And so whatever, I gave the paperwork, I got him in, and then so they leashed him up, and I was like, y'all have fun. And she was like, oh, you can like, and she's like struggling. She's like, you can like pick him up at like 3. And I was like, you enjoy that. You enjoy that. So I was good from 8 to 3. We go, we pick him up. It's like a group setting, and I was the last one called. And I was like, that's so weird. I wonder why, because every dog, every cat gets just taken out. I was the last one called. And they were like, hey, we had to put you last because Jimbo's he's playful. And I was
a handful.
They're always like so nice, but sometimes I wish they would just be like, well, this is a problem dog. Like I just want to be like, just call it like it is. Like I know we're dancing around this. We all know. Everybody knows.
they were very sweet to him. Like finally, when he had come out, they gave me 3 extra medications. 2 of them I understand for what he has, like some allergies on around his area. But the third one, which I didn't hear anybody else get, was a calming kind of pill. And I was like, oh, like, what is it for? Is it gonna make him drowsy? She goes, no, it's just kind of gonna calm him, kind of like a Percocet. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I don't know what a Percocet really does or is, but I was like, okay, cool. And yeah, we got home and he was acting like nothing happened, trying to chase the cat, like acting like. And then finally, now I gave him the morning pill, and
poor guy.
Oh my God.
He can see sounds right now.
The way that he just was like, oh.
Huh?
Once again, obviously, if you're listening to this, you can't see the picture, but he just has his head perched up on the couch cushion, just looks like drugged the fuck out. Like he has taken the biggest edible ever. And he's like, well, we're just here for the ride. Let's just go.
Yeah. And my previous dog, he had this surgery too, but he also had butt problems, but he was only 20 pounds. So I felt like he was going to be fine. But that was a huge issue for me. So I feel like I have a little bit of PTSD of a dog going through this. And that's why I was like, guys, I need to work from home. Like I can't leave him on a cone. But so far he's kind of okay. I did feel bad about the cone. He bumps into everything to try to rip it off. But so far he's been okay.
Cones are difficult. Like sometimes cones just almost cause more damage than it would be without it. But after like probably a couple of days, if you notice that he's not actively like going in that spot, probably leave the cone off, you know?
Yeah. I think they said like 10 days. So we'll see.
I wore a cone.
He's gonna be just fine. He's gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
So yeah. That's my life right now.
I love it. Holly, it looks like you have something going on with you.
My neck hurts. I don't know. My neck is killing me. I went and found our little emergency kit, and I took some non-aspirin. That's what it's called. It's Tylenol, but they call it non-aspirin because it's some generic brand. So I don't know. I woke up like this, and so I've just been in like a level of pain all day. I've just been in a level of pain for like the past couple weeks. I don't know what it is. Either my lower back hurts, and then this morning I woke up. It was one of those things where it hurts from the base of your skull down like that muscle or whatever to your shoulder and like down your back. And first of all, I had to get a portable fan, a portable battery powered fan last night because we're sleeping in the bedroom, which has no power, and it got hot. So I went and got the fan, and I put the fan on, blowing directly at my face. My hair was a slight bit damp last night from washing it, and I have a feeling that the fan caused my hair, the wetness. It could, I just feel like that caused it. But also, speaking of dogs, like we're talking about potentially getting a dog this weekend, and I think I'm stressed out about it, and I think that's also causing it. Just so I'm a big mess. It's fine.
Ooh. The stress is manifesting itself into
it is. I had
an
eye twitch today too. Like my neck is hurting, my eye was twitching. I was like, oh my God. So anyway,
I think you know how much of a commitment getting a dog is. I could see you pre-stressing.
Yes,
that happens all the time. I twitch when I know I'm about to be extremely stressed. So,
like to me, and I know, so I texted I have a group chat with some friends that most of them have dogs, and I was like, so y'all just pump me up for the good stuff because I don't know about any of it. Like I'm only prepared for like how horrific it's going to be, basically. So I'm bracing myself that it's just going to be mainly the worst thing that's ever happened in my whole life. Not my whole life, that is an exaggeration, but like I'm just ready for just terrible. And I feel like most people probably don't feel like that when they're getting a dog, but like I know I have no delusion about like how shitty it's going to be.
I think I wish I had that mindset first when getting a puppy, and instead of finding out. I was very hopeful, very excited, but the minute that I was like, oh wow, this is a commitment, this is gonna suck for this amount of time. Yeah. Oh my God, I actually hate this, and then I hated it every single day. Till now, when things have calmed down, I'm like, okay, things are a little bit better. So at least and there's a benefit to that.
Right, I think so. Like, I don't even know what benefits I'm getting out of this. Like, what even is the benefit of having a dog? I don't really know any.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That with this journey now, you'll get to pick out what you feel like
Yes.
will be a benefit. Whereas for me, I was like, "Where's the benefits?" Where
Here's how I look for here's how I'm looking at it. I'm like, if anything good does come of it, I'm gonna take it as a win.
Mm.
Yeah.
Was
So
there like nothing that you felt good like at the beginning of Nala when your previous dog?
Well, I had absolutely no idea, zero knowledge about what it meant to have a dog. I just didn't know, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know. And my ex-husband had always had dogs, and so he's like, "Oh, I know exactly what to do." So I was like, "Okay, he knows." But then like he didn't tell me like what to do or like I don't know. I was like, this isn't like working because she's peeing all over the house. And like, how do we stop that? And so then I was like, oh my God. And so I did a deep dive into like, okay, you need to get a training class. And then she didn't really like me that much. She only liked him. And so it was just difficult, you know? I feel like poor little Nala. I did love Nala, and she was like my little, like, you know, she was my responsibility. But I always feel like we were sort of had a relationship where she was just like tolerated me as her owner because she really wanted him, but she didn't get him. She got me, so she tolerated me, and I was just like, girl, what now? Like, what now? And so we had that relationship. I was telling my fiance last night, I was like, the one thing that was really like fun about Nala was that you could put on Usher's OMG and she would lose her shit. Like it was hilarious every time. It was never not funny. So I was like, dogs do have some like fun little spontaneous moments. And so I'm like, I know that'll happen. You don't understand. Like, I understand the responsibilities of life. This is why I waited so long to have a baby. And then when I did get pregnant, I was like, well, here we go. Like I was under zero delusions about like how much work it was going to be. Same thing with the dog. And like obviously, like I feel like it's almost like you just have to prepare in that way instead of just being like, unfortunately, Kelbin, like you, where you're like, this is going to be like sunshine and rainbows and I'm so excited. And then it hits you in the face with the responsibility. So
postpartum.
Yeah.
And what sort of dog is it, Holly?
I don't know yet. Like we're this is so awkward. So I don't know yet. We're going to a couple different places this weekend. It's all sort of, it was a slow trickle because Maya, my 10-year-old daughter, has wanted a dog since Nala passed. And Nala passed like a year ago now. I can't believe it's been that long.
Has it been a year? Oh wow.
I think it was last July, actually. And so yeah, so it's been a slow trickle of like, she wants one and I think it would be really good for her. And my fiance wants one. And I think we know it would be really good for him. So obviously I'm not going to let
Kelbin got an email.
Okay. So I'm not going to let my whatever trepidation stop the fact that a dog would be good for 2 of the 3 members of our family.
Oh.
And I think I have like a little bit of PTSD from it because like I got saddled with all of the stuff, like with our other, when, you know, we had another dog when we had Nala, like it suddenly became just all my responsibility. And so I was afraid of that happening again, but I've been assured that's not going to happen and it won't, you know, because I do have a different type of help this time.
Because I sure wasn't about to help when you got Nala the first time. I was like,
I didn't expect you to.
Because y'all asked me, is it okay if we get a dog? And I was like, y'all are getting married and I'm already like overstepping my bounds by living with y'all after y'all get married. So there is no way I was going to be like, you know, I don't think so. So I was like, yeah, sure. Ain't doing shit for it though. So I was like, I'm out. Bye.
Yeah. Did you bond with Nala anytime?
We did whenever I was on my Ambien. That's when I used to take Ambien back in the day. And when I would get crazy, then I'd be like, sup, bitch? How you doing?
I have pictures. I have Facebook memories of Miguel with Nala being cuddly. So yes.
And
It's like that.
I feel like she remembered me, like whenever I'd come over to your house, and she'd be like,
Yeah.
"You again."
That's how she was with me. She'd be like, "Oh, you." Like she was. Yes. I am trying to remember like the good things of like, oh, you get to discover their little personalities or whatever. But it's so freaking scary because how do you know you're not getting a psycho?
As
Kelbin has panned to Jimbo.
I know, like even yesterday I was in the elevator at my apartment and this guy got on with this cute little dog, and the dog, like normally when dogs in the elevator in my apartment try to sniff me, I back up a little bit, and then like because you just never know.
You don't.
And so people usually like pull their dog away, but this one I just was like, oh, he seems cute, and he like sniffed me. He just put his nose up against my leg, and I was like, oh, look at that, that's cute. And he was like, oh, look, little Peter or whatever his name was found a little friend.
Oh my god.
And then when I got off the elevator, he tried to follow me off, and he was like, not today, Peter. Ha ha.
What in the world?
There's a lot of fun things that happen in my apartment complex. So
I guess so.
So yeah.
But yeah, Miguel had some times. Okay.
Time to play. Would you rather? All right. Would you rather have to hop everywhere or climb anything that you see?
Hop.
Hop.
100% hop.
Climb?
I'm not climbing shit. I'm not climbing shit. What? No.
Would you rather have to hop everywhere or climb anything that you see? So, like, just go with it. So let's say you are in an Uber and you're in South End, and you get out of the Uber and you've got to walk into Velvet Taco. You can't just walk you're just like boing, 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 boing.
Yeah.
But then also on the other hand, if you climb anything that you see, so does that mean like if you walk up to my building in Uptown, which is a high rise, then you have to scale the wall there?
I'm pretty sure you have to scale it. Or like climb over like art decorations installed in the city streets and things.
If you're at Target, you gotta like climb on the shelves.
Yeah, I'm not climbing. I'll just hop, thank you.
Kelbin?
I don't think I would like to hop everywhere.
Why?
I will run out of breath. I will trip and break my ankle.
Oh my god! Well, you're not going to break your ankle climbing things?
I will try to avoid absolutely everything that I would need to climb. I would have to live on a first floor. I would order my stuff curbside. I wouldn't want to live a life hopping.
Okay.
I would not.
Like I'm trying to think of like the awkward places, like when you're on a plane and then you're just like hopping down the road to your seat, and everyone's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And you have your seat.
Looking at, I gotta hop. Stop!
Like you're on one of those moving, not escalators, but the moving sidewalks, and you're just like hopping on it as you're like running down.
Yeah.
At the DMV where it's like.
Yes.
You're at one of the stadiums, or you're like hopping down to go find your seat, and you're like, "Hey, I'm here for 13F."
You could take a nasty fall there, though, so I would be careful with those.
Yeah, man, it's dangerous.
Hope you don't have to carry a drink with you while you're going, because
you're at Publix and you're just hopping down, and you're like, "Whoop, here's the ranch." Okay, just need to see it real quick.
Just hop on over.
Fuck that.
I'm okay with it.
All right, let's see here. Let me put it up on the screen. Would you rather bark whenever you see a postman or talk like Mickey Mouse whenever you're in trouble? So would you rather bark whenever you see a postman or talk like Mickey Mouse whenever you're in trouble? So let's just say Daddy AJ, our boss, comes in here and he's like, "Guys, I told you all to keep your breaks to 3 minutes or less." And then you're like,
True story.
Oh, Daddy AJ, I'm sorry. We'll try to do better next time. I'm sorry. You guys, we got to get John Ivy on the phone. Okay. I can talk later today at 3:00.
Oh my god. Oh my god. But then could you imagine when you're in an argument or whatever with your significant other and it's serious and they're like, how dare you not at least give me the courtesy of a phone call? You're like, gosh, I just didn't know. I was having too much.
I feel like more likely I would be in the Mickey Mouse situation, and I don't want to make things worse. So
Yeah, that would be so bad.
I'd rather bark at a postman.
I don't know. See, I'd be nervous because like our postman in our building, when I do see him, he never looks like he's having fun. And so he always has AirPods in, and I always try to be nice. And I'll be like, hi. And he's always like, what?
He doesn't say what though. He just looks at you.
He just goes,
oh. You're like, I'm sorry, just
so
I don't mean to disturb your government job.
Literally. So then I couldn't imagine as he's trying to like sort mail, and then I'm just like, ah! Ah!
I would just avoid. I think I would do the barking thing, but I would avoid post ladies.
Wait, but like because I still go to the post office a lot for stuff. So like when I'm standing, like every time I see one of them at the counter, I'm like,
I just would have someone else go for me.
Yeah, Amazon drivers count too. That would go follow their postmans too. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Ooh,
they'd probably be like, what the hell, man? Like, and then you can't explain it. You're just like, ruff, ruff.
Oh, and that makes it even worse because you can't when they're like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "What?"
No,
you just have
I'm
to.
Sorry.
Like,
I'd be like, I'm sorry.
Like that's part of the rules. You can't explain. You just got to be like, "I'm sorry."
I'm so sorry.
What if you're in a bad mood and then that happens?
Don't even ask. Do your job.
Jimbo.
Oh, poor thing.
He's like, wait.
Look at his poor eyebrows. Look at his eyebrows. He's just not into it at all.
Hey, Jimbo.
I hope I like whatever dog we get. Oh, okay.
All right, last one before we're out of here today. Would you rather look like a fish or smell like a fish?
Oh, come on, that is bad.
I already look like a fish.
That's triggering. I don't like this question.
Why?
You got these big lips.
What do you mean, why?
That's what you used to tell me in elementary school. Trout mouth.
What? They called you a trout mouth?
Yeah, like fish lips.
Oh.
I don't see fish lips on you.
No, I don't either.
Okay.
Kids are mean. They'll come up with anything.
Kids make fun of people for literally zero reason. But like, I feel like this question is rude because I feel like that's like a common insult about women's vaginas.
Oh.
Like that is super triggering. Like obviously I like just right off the bat, I was like, no, I don't.
Oh.
I don't smell.
Wait, do people, I mean, like, I know I've heard it in media, like in TV shows before, but like in real life, do guys or people say that sort of thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or they did, especially back in the day. Like, I haven't heard any adult people, like adult men that I'm friends with do it now, but like college guys, they would always be like making fun of other girls and you just sat there silently because you don't want to say anything because then they'll make fun of like you. And it's like the same, like, ugh, I hate, there's one phrase that men use to make fun of women's downstairs area that I think is so distasteful and horrifying, and they just toss it around like it's no big deal.
Is it that
it's that the fish thing, and then it's also this is inappropriate, but it is the Uncensored podcast, so I apologize. Just know that I'm not saying this for any other reason other than it really bothers me when I hear people say this. Is when they say things like meat curtains. Like, first of all, how dare you? Have you seen a penis?
Talk about a meat curtain.
I just get really, it's like, it really bothers me.
So there was a franchise, Canada versus the World, like RuPaul's Drag Race, and one of the girls was like, "Oh, I'm serving up fish," and this was like very common statement in like early 2010s, where like a lot of the girls are like, baby, I'm serving tuna on a platter, like blah 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 blah, I look like a female, blah 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 blah. And then fast forward now, this last season, one of the girls was like, do you because there was a female competing on Drag Race, and she was like, do you know that when you say that, it's what you're talking about, Holly? And she was like, oh no, because she was from the Philippines, or she was like from the UK or something. And she was like, oh no, like fish is a really big delicacy. So like it was kind of a compliment, but it's like, girl, no, like, you know exactly what you're saying. You're serving up fish.
Yeah, it's not appropriate.
So it very much now, like drag queens are not saying that anymore, which is good.
That's good.
I remember that. Like, I remember hearing that, but I just thought that was one of those like drag queens saying that I didn't know. Like, because sometimes drag queens will just say stuff, and I'd be like, I
know, and I understand that, like, that's the freedom of performing an expression, but like, that's not something that's a nice thing for women to hear or talk about, or you know, it's because it's like made as a huge put down. Like, I don't care if you twist it if you were a drag performer and you're not a woman, obviously you don't that it just. You can't relate because you don't understand like the guttural, like bad feeling that comes with that.
How do you feel about the word? I feel like this word is trying to be taken back. Like Beyonce, she's been like, it was on the performance when she was, she flashed a bunch of words. I can't remember what song it was, but the C word. I know you've always had a big problem with when people say the C word, and you're always
I don't like it.
Oh!
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Even the reclaiming of it?
No, I don't like it at all. Like, I don't really understand a reclaiming of it. What are we reclaiming? I don't like that word because it's just used offensively. So I'm not going to say it about myself. So I don't like it. And I don't get it. So maybe if like Beyonce can explain it to me.
You're like, can we please have a sit down and you explain to me why you say and have C word?
Yeah.
Because even like some of the fans, you know, the big click, click, clack, clack fans.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of those during Pride this year.
Right.
And here and in St. Pete as well.
I know. And I don't appreciate it. Like, I don't know. I guess I would want someone to be like, hey, let me explain why it's a good thing. And I'm like, because there was a whole episode of Sex in the City about that, actually, back in the day. And like, even though it was like, you know, that episode was trying to make it be like, oh, this is a good thing, it still left me with like a bad taste in my mouth. I was still like, but no. I have said it like once because I don't think I've ever been so angry, and I couldn't find a better word as like a worse word, because it's to me like the ultimate like horrific slanderous thing that you could say to a woman.
No, that makes sense. I mean, that's sort of how I feel. I've never been comfortable when people say the N word a lot, especially the hard, like the full word. Like the other one, I'm like, I will every now and then pull it out, not very often, but just to like really like punctuate a good joke. I may say it.
Yeah, right.
Because especially my grandma back in the day, she used to always have this saying. There was like one time when I was younger, she had her stroke and she was in the hospital.
Oh, this is a good story.
And like they wouldn't let her out of the hospital. Like they kept her for like days, and she was like, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home. And so literally my precious little, like, I love Jesus, very quiet, timid. She was like banging drawers and slamming stuff. And I was like, Lydia Cole, what are you doing? And she was like, sometimes you gotta act like a nigga to get stuff done. I was like, Grandma! Oh my God!
I feel like you probably physically took a couple steps backwards.
I was like, Lydia Cole, what did you just say? I will never forget that. I was like 12 years old and I about fell out on the floor.
Yeah.
I was like, that was burned into. So sometimes I'll throw out that phrase my grandma said.
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
But no, but like, especially like there, I do feel like there's this, as a white person, I don't get to have an opinion on that, so I don't
Right.
have one.
Right.
But I do, in my own head, feel like there's a bit of a difference between like the hard R and not the hard R.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like the hard R either. And I
Right.
mean, it's again, that's not my call because I'm white.
Right.
But I also don't understand the taking back. Like I don't. It just there's some words that have like this horrible attachment to it, so there is really no taking it back. It's more just like I don't like it, but that's not for me to judge. But the C word, I don't like it.
I think it just depends. I mean, like I think like even in the gay world, like I understand the power of taking a word back. Like I don't feel comfortable saying, like even now saying the N word, I'm like, oof, even that version of it.
Right.
But like in the gay world, like saying the F word that was hurled towards me a lot growing up. Like I would never say it on the air. I would never say it as a public figure. But if I'm with my friends and we're all like enjoying ourselves and having fun and throwing barbs at each other, like I would throw one out there. But that's in private. I would never do it in a public setting to make people think that it's okay to say. Do you say that, Kelbin, in a private setting?
Private setting or with a straight friend that I'm very, very comfortable with. Like, why? 'Cause I'm up. And immediately their face is just, and it's just one of my favorite things. But I think what you were heading towards with that, Miguel, was that like reclaiming that word for me, because the same, like I would get that word thrown at me all the time, and now I just love calling myself that. I'm a big ol' F word.
Yeah, because I think for gay people, like you spend so much of your life being called these words where people put these negative connotations to it. And you spend so much time being like, I'm not gay. I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm not that. And then like when the first person I told I was gay, I couldn't even say the word gay. Like I had to be like, I'm like that guy that came out already. It took me months before I could actively out loud say I'm gay. And so then once you're finally comfortable in your skin, you're like, bitch, I'm not going to feel bad for the words that you call me, because that is who I am. So yes, I'm gay. Yes, I'm queer. Yes, I am and so I see from that point of view for those words for me, why I don't mind, but I also don't like to say it in public because I also don't want people who don't understand the context of that to think that, well, Miguel on the radio says it, so it's fine. Like I'd never on the air be like, well, let's go to old F word, producer Kelbin. Like, what you think, girl? How many tickets we got today?
Not old F word. Like,
I wish you would. I mean, I wish you would, but no. Yeah, I get it.
Like, could you imagine? Like, we're live on the air, and I'm just like, Hits 96.1 with Miguel and Holly. Oh, wait, hold on. Before we get to Holly's trending trivia, let's check in with old F word. Producer Kelbin. Producer Kelbin, how many tickets do we have today?
No, we got 4, honey.
Oh my God.
No. Thank you, old F word. Holly. What's
It's Miguel and Holly
The Queen City's new morning show.
on Hits 96.1.
I would never.
I wish.
All right. Oh, wait, before we get out of here, and I'm sorry for those of you that are listening, I brought up pictures of trouts. I wanted to see.
What you?
No, look up the rainbow fish. Look up the rainbow fish, the children's book.
Rainbow.
I'm sorry. Now I'm just staring at a bunch of open mouth trouts. There. Oh, the rainbow fish. Oh, I see.
Actually.
No. Fucking bitch.
Oh no. Can you do that for Halloween though? Can you do the rainbow fish for Halloween? And you get really fun sparkly scales.
Listen, if you are listening to this podcast, go Google rainbow fish. You will see a children's book.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. That was
drama, bitch.
okay. Well, Oh Lordy. Okay, I can't. Thank you, Kelbin, for sharing your
I mean, does it make you sad, or are you kind of like?
I mean, I think that's a compliment. You're the rainbow fish, girl.
Yeah, that's a really pretty fish. And you're
Iconic.
part of the LGBTQ
Yes,
community,
girl.
so you're literally the rainbow fish.
You're the cutest rainbow fish that's ever fished, girl.
Yeah.
Okay, Producer Kelbin or Rainbow Fish, how can people find you?
You can find me at FWordFish, at Kelbin Live, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
Oh God.
All right, Holly, how can people find you?
Radio Holly everywhere, including Apple Music, as it turns out, and I'm making sure that everything is appropriate.
You can find me at Miguel Fuller on Instagram, TikTok, Be Real. Have a great weekend, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you